Titans, I'm Ellie Johnson.
And I'm Cora Westbrook. Welcome to this edition of Titan Television.
On this episode, we hear from students who attended the Super Bowl rally that started as a celebration and ended as an event Kansas City will never forget.
We'll dive into the busy life of Mr. Greer.
And we find out why IB Sports is such a popular class.
But first, one of the biggest clubs at Lee Summit West is Black Student Union. Jamie Birmingham has more.
At Lee Summit West, Black Student Union is a great club to learn more about Black History Month.
So one of our main goals for BSU is to promote a safe place for all students here at the school. We also want to have the students be able to learn all of the Black and African American history and culture. We also want to make our school and possibly even the LSR 7 district a loving and caring environment and have our voices to be seen and heard.
History teacher Mrs. Ireland makes sure the students have multiple learning opportunities during the month of February.
We've hosted different movies before to be watched during Titan Time. And then book talks, there's going to be a book talk next week in the library that again, highlighting Black authors that the librarians are going to give. Those are just some of the things that get planned during the month.
Mrs. Ireland makes it a point to her students that Black History Month is a very important month.
Black History Month's fantastic to get to showcase Black excellence, but it's also, every month needs to be Black History Month.
I know we had Black Panther down in the hallway and then MLK in one of the offices, and it's just fun to see everybody kind of come together as a school.
With photographer Jamie Birmingham, this is Zoe Harrington reporting for Titan TV.
Thanks to BSU, there's been many happenings for Black History Month. In addition to the display across from the security desk, the school district hosted a special guest.
Where we can empower ordinary people to heal. Ordinary people, who were empowered to kill, they can be empowered to heal.
His name is Carl Wilkins, and his story is he was the only American to choose to stay in Rwanda when the genocide broke out in April of 1994.
Wilkins' visit to the district was a collaborative effort between each high school and came at a great time, teaching of how simple hatred can quickly turn deadly.
Well, it's important to talk about genocide, just like it's important to talk about all sensitive subjects with compassionate, educated teachers. The educators do a good job of talking about several sensitive items with students, especially in social studies and English classes. And I think he did a great job of talking to teens.
Student Senate changed the lineup for choir wing this year with a Valentine's Day crush wall and a school-wide rock, paper, scissors tournament.
The crush wall is just basically a way for people to put their crushes, so it doesn't have to be someone at this high school. It can be someone a celebrity. So I know people are doing Patrick Mahomes, but basically at lunch we'll have this area for where Senate Lab will be taking these papers, and you can write down your crush's name, and then you put it in the box, and then we won't hang them up till the next hour.
But the fun didn't stop there. The annual choir wing assembly featured the cheer, dance team, West Side Steppers, and 12th Man in a collab, glow-in-the-dark style.
If you know Mr. Greer, you know he's a busy guy. He sponsors many clubs and announces many sporting events. Tyler Coffey asks him why he likes to get so involved.
Most students know Mr. Greer as their teacher or club leader, but that's not all he does.
I've announced softball, baseball, boys and girls soccer, girls volleyball. I've done senior nights for boys volleyball. Now that they're a Misha sport, I might do announcing for boys volleyball and wrestling.
Mr. Greer has been at West for 7 years, but now he's met more students than most teachers through sports alone.
Mr. Hubbard said that they needed people to run the scoreboards and they were going to be looking for announcers. And I live and breathe sports. I absolutely love sports. And so when that opportunity arose, I said, sign me up.
His love for sports wasn't the only thing driving him to help.
I just love lending my abilities to giving the students a better opportunity here at West and a more fun opportunity.
Between the long days and nights of school activities, Mr. Greer still finds time for his clubs.
I have two clubs that I assist with. The first is Titan Smart, and that is the no alcohol, tobacco, other drug club. And it is basically a social club where students learn making good choices.
Being around the youth is where Mr. Greer feels like he's always belonged.
It's just love working with students. I've loved it as a teenager, and I've loved working with youth my entire life. So when these opportunities came up, I jumped on them, and I love them.
With photographer Pierce Steed, this is Tyler Coffey reporting for Titan Television.
Next up, I did some investigating into why the IB Sports class is so popular. Christy Davalos provided some insight.
Whether it's English, history, or sports, Lee Summit West seems to have an IB class to offer. But after COVID, the IB program sustained a decrease in enrollment. Since then, IB coordinator Christy Davalos has been urging students to get back in by advertising its benefits.
They are most definitely, geared as a freshman level college course. There, you can get college credit through different universities. And so lots of times that's really a selling point for a lot of kids, is that they have the potential to get college credit. And it's weighted,
While more traditional classes like history and biology have statistically been attracting less and less students, the IB Sports and Exercise class has nearly tripled in size.
I think the interest level, it's so wildly different from any of the other IB courses, because it's not just one thing. It's not just physics. It's not just English. It's, like I said, we have a multitude of 6 different sciences that we look into, and the mode that we study those just happens to be through sports and exercise.
Humphreys said her class definitely isn't an IB PE class, yet nearly half of her students are athletes.
I think people are realizing that these are classes that it's a different type of science class, different type of health class, and those are topics that are kind of hot topics for kids.
I get a lot of future nurses, future orthopedic surgeons, future general practice physicians, future podiatrists, future physical therapists, future athletic trainers. I also get future finance majors who just seem to have an interest.
And for students on the fence about enrolling in IB, Davalos encourages them to reach out to her with questions.
It's just good knowledge. I mean, if you have an interest in, biology or history or music or whatever, you're going to learn a lot about your subject that you're just not going to get from other classes.
Reporting for Titan TV, I'm Ellie Johnson.
Now let's hand it off to Manning Hauk and the rest of the crew for the Titan Sports Update.
Good morning, Titans. Spring sports are quickly approaching as the winter sports season comes to an end. Join us on this edition of Titan Sports Update. The girls basketball team has had a slow start to the year, but through the ups and downs, they've had a couple bright spots. One of them is senior Katie Huffman, who has broken many records, including blocks, rebounds, and field goals. The Titans prepare for the playoffs next Wednesday at home versus Carthage. We wish them good luck.
Boys volleyball has been a popular activity at Lee Summit West for the past few years, but recently it's cemented its status as an official mission sport. Here's Chase Roden with more on the story.
For years past, Lee Summit West Boys Volleyball Club has been looking for some real competition. Thanks to the efforts of head coach Jennifer Morgan, boys volleyball has become a mission sport.
Well, we've been working with other coaches in the area. We have to have lots of teams that are interested.
Coach Morgan believes the inclusion of boys volleyball will help break gender barriers in sports.
It's a lot of the boys think of it as a girl sport, and there's a lot of competition in spring for baseball and track and tennis. There's a lot of opportunities at a big school for boys to do other things. And so we're really just trying to show them that volleyball is fun. They can play it into adulthood and in college, and just really create excitement about boys volleyball.
Coach Morgan was inspired to push boys volleyball forward by the people she knows.
really my two boys. I have a junior and I have a 7th grader, and they both play volleyball, and so I'm really excited to help them be able to play a high school sanctioned sport.
One of the other players pursuing a career in volleyball is junior Colby Drennan, who committed to Rockhurst this year.
It's just not an opportunity you can pass up. It's close to home, so family can come visit and watch easily, so it's just not something you can pass up.
Drennan hopes that his volleyball experience can help make his dream career come true.
So I'm going to do sports management, so I would love to be a college coach is where I would like to take it.
Coach Morgan and the team are looking forward to an exciting season.
Just have some success for these young guys, and I think some of them are new to the sport. Just them being open-minded, we'll see a lot of improvement as they come out for the sport.
We wish the Titan boys luck in their first season of volleyball competition. Reporting for Titan Sports Update with photographer Tyler Jacobs, this is Chase Verdon. Back to you.
Be sure to catch their first match this season at Jamboree at Lee Summit North High School on March 14th.
The girls swim and dive team recently traveled to state. Anna Lewis placed an outstanding 8th overall, and Miller Wood brought her game in the races. Ending off in 7th place in the 50 freestyle and 14th in the 100 freestyle, with the off-season approaching, the girls will continue to be striving for success.
Titan Wrestling sent competitors Kenley Harker, Tony Miller, Grady Mortensen, and Zach Pruitt to state over the weekend, and the 4 put on a strong showing. Congratulations to those 4 and the rest of the program for all the hard work that they put into this successful season, and good luck to those returning next year.
Kicking off the upcoming spring season, we will begin to see more conditioning and practice coming into hand. Coaches are a big part in this process, making the players play to the best of their ability. Let's swing it over to Evan Watson to show us how the process looks.
Lee Summit West High School has had a history of athletic success since opening in 2004. With success comes great coaches, and West has had a handful of coaches who have been here through it all.
So you've been here at West since the first year. Was not on staff as far as a teacher because of the only 3 years, but I've been coaching here since the school opened.
Coach Myers had hundreds of victories and memorable players in his years, but one thing has kept him at West.
Just a culture that's created to be able to come into a building from the get-go, and anybody who's ever coached or taught, there's some connection. So I get both the best worlds in the sense of I got to be firsthand in the beginning of the program.
Coaches here know that West is one of a kind and have been able to find great community in being on the Titan staff.
I have a special feeling for this building. It's where I raised my family, where I made so many great friendships. I've taught and coached so many great student athletes, students. I just don't see anywhere else that I call home. I mean, our kids are amazing.
We have great kids come through this school. All the teachers, all the other coaches. I mean, I don't want to be anywhere else. This is the best school in Missouri, so why would I want to go anywhere else?
These coaches have built a winning expectation throughout the building in their years.
The growth is like, just doing cross country and track versus competing. And we're at the level where we compete now on the state level more and more. We're kind of expected to be there. It's hard to get there, but that's where we put the bar. We set the bar high.
The coaches' experiences also benefit the program's success and player development.
I think the biggest part is just kind of the mental side of sports, right? When things go bad in sports, it's typically not due to a lack of athleticism or talent. A lot of times it's that student athlete that has doubts, isn't focused, and that's a lot of times where things can go bad. So like in swimming, it's just the whole mental approach, right? Being positive, thinking positive, believing in yourself. So all those things that I learned as a student athlete, a young coach.
All these coaches have a great history at West, but are still looking to the future for their programs and their players.
It's important for me to realize, hopefully, when my seniors, the ones that come and go and move on to their lives and become successful and fathers and coaches and all that kind of stuff someday, statistically will. Hope they look back and there's a small part of their lives that helped solidify, strengthen, improve, or whatever, who they are in that day.
These coaches make their players better people and have been doing it for years. With photographer Sebastian Coleman, I'm Evan Watson reporting for Titan Sports Update.
Boys basketball are in the midst of a great season, currently sitting at 20-6. This record was achieved by the help of brothers Cameron and Justin Barnes. The two have been leaders on and off the court.
Here's Byron Vigil with more.
Boys basketball is in the midst of another great season, with two of the key contributors being brothers Justin and Cameron Barnes. With Justin being on varsity the past few years, it's allowed him to gain experience at the varsity level, but also help translate Cameron's game to the next level.
You know, I've been around Justin now for 4 years. One thing I've noticed about him, he's starting to become much more of a leader, and I think the biggest thing with him as opposed to Cam is just Cam's still learning things.
Cameron might be a freshman, but he feels like his experiences have pushed him and prepared him for the varsity level here at West.
I've been going through the challenges, so I'm kind of used to it. I got some experience with playing up and going through obstacles.
Even with how experienced Cameron is, the connection the two have with each other allows them to push each other to their full potentials.
Pushes me. He knows when I'm playing bad, playing good, so he knows my strengths and weaknesses.
Of course, we push each other all the time, just from all the 1v1s we've done, and just loving to see each other do good.
With the amount of dedication they put into each other, that sure doesn't only happen out the school walls.
When they're, sometimes I think they pick each other out to guard each other in practice so they can compete and get a little bit more out of each other.
Because they drive each other so much, they like no more than to see the outcomes of their hours spent on the court together.
Of course, we always like to get hyped up for each other whenever one does good and vice versa. Yep, and we always just love to see each other win.
With photographer Daniel Wozniak, this is Byron Vigil reporting for Titan Sports Update.
Their regular season has come to an end, but they'll kick off districts at Ruskin this Thursday in hopes of a long playoff run. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Titan Sports Update. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Let's send it back to Cora and Ellie.
Thanks, guys. A lot of times we think of lacrosse as a spring sport, but some girls prepare all winter long. Israel Alexander has more.
We've all heard of the girls lacrosse team during the spring here at Lee Summit West. However, many are aware the team is also active in the winter.
Girls, they keep in condition, so it helps with running, solid running for lacrosse, and then it helps them be fresh with their sticks. Catching and passing, because they get a little rusty if they don't play for a whole year.
The girls work on essential skills in the winter for the lacrosse season.
They have a lot of fun training type videos, a lot of footwork, a lot of stick work, just improving your stick handling, because the way lacrosse works, if you can handle the ball and keep the ball, then you can score. But if you can't keep the ball and you can't handle it, then it's really tough to score. So if you want to be successful, you got to be able to control the ball and move the ball around.
The sport of lacrosse is unique from others for several reasons.
It's a different kind of sport. You may not be the fastest and you may not be the strongest player, but because it's such a big team sport, it really lends to new players being successful too.
Coach Brian Cox has big goals for the team as a whole.
I want everybody on the team to feel welcome, feel like it has a family feel, because lacrosse is no individual player.
Although lacrosse is a sport, it is also an opportunity.
But you can letter, and you can letter through West, and you can also go to college with scholarships. So they offer tons of great scholarships like half rides, full rides.
The lacrosse team is always welcoming interested students, and contacting them is encouraged.
I'm listed as a LSR7 coach for Lee Summit West, or you can just go through the AD, or you can talk to Monty. Mary Beth Rich is our student sponsor.
With photographer Matthew Woodwards, this is Israel Alexander reporting for LS West Online.
Lastly, the Chiefs parade that was filled with excitement quickly turned into chaos. Many members of our Titan family experienced this tragedy. I talked to a few of them about this fateful day.
I mean, I just wanted to see the team. I haven't gone to a championship parade since the Royals won, and I was like, well, you only win back-to-back Super Bowls every once in a while, so I was like, I guess I better go.
So the day was literally going perfect. Like, I could not think of one thing that was wrong. I mean, it was Valentine's Day. Everyone was giving out like heart chocolates, and I mean, everyone was just having a good time. I was excited, cheering, singing along, and literally everything was perfect.
I was just really excited to see like the players. And we got set up like around Union Station, so I was excited to see like Travis Kelce make a fool of himself on stage, normal Chiefs antics. Hi, my name is Cooper Scavuzzo.
Hi, my name is Olivia Torres, and I was at the Chiefs Parade. The first thing I saw was people running, and once everyone cleared out, I did see people laying on the ground, and I thought that they were dead or seriously hurt.
The cops started telling us to jump the barricade and run. That's like that was the big moment where we were like, something's up.
Hi, my name is Finn Hoffman, and I was at the Chiefs Parade. Well, I was just walking back, and I heard gun and saw people running, so I just ran out of instinct.
Hi, my name is Noah Sims, and I was at the Chiefs Parade. It is crazy to be so close to it. I mean, to be one decision and like a 15-minute walk away from, being a part of a mass shooting. I mean, that's really scary, whether you're there or not, knowing that you were that close.
I think chaos.
Traumatic or terrifying.
Tragic is a good word. Obviously, any shooting is tragic. But it's also tragic that something so pure and like full of absolute joy can be ruined in an instant.
That's a wrap on this edition of Titan TV. Don't forget, enrollment conferences are tomorrow and Thursday, and there's no school on Friday.
And seniors, if you want to speak at graduation, the deadline to sign up is March 8th. Ask your English teachers or advisors for the link to sign up.
To stay up to date with what's going on around the school, be sure to follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ellis West Online, and on TikTok at Ellis West on TikTok.
Have a great week, Titans.